All right, everyone, here's a tale of political intrigue. There are competing ethics bills that are being talked about in Congress, one by Comer, that's sort of the GOP side bill, and one by Jamie Raskin. And it looked like the Comer bill would actually get a vote. It actually would go forward and that it would be passed, at least by the House and the Senate. Had bipartisan support. It's a fairly innocuous bill. The basic concept is just to constrain members of government from engaging in corrupt fiscal behavior. And, you can read the text of that bill and find it online. Same with Raskin's bill. And it had bipartisan support. Several of the co-sponsors were Democrats, actually. It was a balanced committee that effectively greenlit the bill in order to get it to go forward. Now several of the Democrats that were backing it backed out, and it's very coincidental. The Democrats that met with the White House the day before the consideration continued are the ones that decided to back out of supporting the bill. How convenient. One of them was like, I think it was Ro Khanna, was like, well, this seems unfairly targeted towards Joe Biden and stuff like that. Like, this is just basically to get the committee going in order to investigate Joe Biden and some of his bullshit. Almost like they're trying to protect Joe Biden. Like they realized it was a bad idea at the last moment because Biden and his people wagged their fingers at them and said, please don't vote for this. This will be problematic for us because we've done corrupt things and we don't want to get investigated. We'll punt this ahead. Raskin's watered down bill, meanwhile, has different language. You can compare the two of them and it's quite astonishingly funny. I think that the Biden White House did indeed, as alleged, scuttle the bill by leaning on congressional Democrats unduly to vote against it, to say, I mean, they all supported it. Originally, it was bipartisan. These three individuals within Congress helped to co-sponsor the bill. Then they pulled out and said, well, on second thought, now that I had lunch with Joe, coincidentally, I've decided not to back the bill. Again, it's a big coincidence. This happens all the time, by the way. It's not unusual for an executive to try to weigh in on members of their own party to keep them in line. That part's not unusual. Normally, it doesn't relate to a bill that could be personally disastrous for that executive in the sense of being investigated by Congress. That's normally not what you see. And I'm just imagining an alternate timeline in which such a bill is proposed by Congress, right? By the Democrats and the Republicans in a bipartisan sense. And Donald Trump calls people into his office and inexplicably a bunch of them back off of supporting the bill so that there's no chance of it getting through Congress. And I'm wondering how many legacy media stink pieces I would see about it. Deservedly so, by the way, because and I suspect this will happen. And we'll watch what happens. Let's say that Raskin's bill doesn't get through. It's so watered down it doesn't really matter anyway. I think that something equivalent to the Comer bill will be proposed if Donald Trump is reelected, and that they'll pass it through after Joe Biden is gone. So he's out of office, he's out of politics, he's out to pasture. Now they can go after the chief executive for ethics violations. Now it's perfectly okay because Orange Man bad. I suspect that will happen, by the way. I suspect that Trump will be reelected, and then they'll pass like a more beefy ethics bill. All of a sudden, it'll be a big problem. Well, we do have a convicted felon in the White House, so we need to keep a closer eye on his finances and stuff. By the way, we're going through all of your old tax returns and shit. Oh, you can't pony him up because you don't store them forever? Well, that's a big problem, Mr. President. We're impeaching you. Something like that. I have a feeling it just ties in with their long-term TDS strategy more than anything else. Yes, the Biden White House almost certainly was involved with scuttling the bill. It's fairly self-evident when only the people that met with Joe Biden the day before backed out of supporting it. That's beyond coincidence in my mind. And by the way, they had a very muddled answer as to why they backed out. It's like, something technicalities. Well, even though I looked at the bill before and I found nothing wrong with it, I had no problem with it. I thought it was a good idea. On second thought, this one line here, I don't know. It goes a little bit too far. It's a cop-out. Really, at the end of the day, it's just a cop-out. That's about all. Peace out.